political path they took, or should they win a heavier, just get down thrash kind of way? And do you think Dan should have left the band, or if he stayed, would they be a more successful band today, or would more people know them? So, Nuclear Assault, Brainwash.
Are you ready for one of the most heavy bands of the world? They're coming from New York City! Anthrax!
And that was Anthrax with A.I.R. A.I.R. They're Spreading the Disease album, 1985, I believe. What don't we know about Anthrax, though? I mean, they held the crown in the East Coast thrash of being one of the big four thrash bands to pioneer the movement all the way to where it died in the 90s. I mean, everybody knows them. You had Danny Liker, he was in there. He got kicked out for just, I guess, not paying recording rent and other such things as just not pitching in when the band was pitching in, but he wasn't. And but I mean, Danny Liker himself always said that he wanted a hard, aggressive sound, so he kind of like weighed the two. We're like, okay, which one's telling the truth? But it started from the beginning. You had Anthrax was heavily inspired by new wave of British heavy metal, like especially in the era when they had Neil Turban, their demo. I mean, it was weird because some Anthrax fans now, like I would be going on thrash forums and stuff. For some reason, there's a lot of, like, I guess it must be the thrash metal kids who liked a lot of the more heavy metal part of thrash metal rather than the punk section of thrash metal. A lot of people like that Neil Turban era rather than the era when Joey was the main singer for Anthrax doing Spreading the Disease and Among the Living. To me, though, personally, I like Joey over Neil. I mean, Neil for me kind of was a little soft for me. I mean, I loved Fistful of Metal. I mean, Death Rider. I mean, Neil has a band now called Death Rider, but Death Rider, I mean, all of those, I mean, Metal Thrashing Mad, all of those songs were great. I really love that album. In fact, I like the first 3 albums, my favorite. But Spreading the Disease, Madhouse, A.I.R, that stuff was just mind blowing. You had riffs on there that were just heavy, and in this band, I mean, like, they weren't like all the other bands. Like, you had Exodus with the hard, like, Paul Baloff with his voice being all heavy and stuff like that, and you had Tom Araya from Slayer, doing like all these heavy lyrics and everything. But I mean, it was funny because you can totally tell where they get their singing style from heavy metal. Joey sang, so did Neil, and they sang those lyrics rather than shout them or scream them like all the other thrash metalers. I mean, I think that what drew them apart from every other band. I mean, every other band was trying to be heavy, and I mean, taking the vocals and just making them darker and heavier for their to complement their guitar playing and drumming. But they sang, and I think that's what gave them the most accreditation. Like they had worldwide. They had worldwide, popularity, whereas some bands were trying to find that. But I mean, in Britain, I think for one of their albums, I'm not sure if it's Fistful of Metal or Spreading the Disease. One of them were in on the British charts was number 8. A thrash metal band at number 8. You already heard me saying Nuclear Assault was like 146 and 145, and then 126. But I mean, number 8. That's really crazy for them to be at that level. But anyways, to me, I loved Anthrax. All 3 of their albums I thought were good. I don't really like the current singer right now, and I kind of stopped liking them once they got out of the 80s. I mean, once thrash started going into the 90s, that's when it kind of picked up as being, not so great. But I mean, that's just grunge. It's grunge's fault. So, but I don't know. You guys tell me. What era did you like Anthrax in? And when I mean era, I mean vocalists. I mean, we had Neil Turban and Joey Belladonna or something like that. Starts with a B. I can't remember his last name. But what era did you like and why? I mean, just because Among the Living was in that era doesn't mean it's the best. I mean, honestly, it's a tough race for me because I really didn't like Neil Turban's demo, but I loved when their debut album. So there you guys go. Anthrax, Spreading the Disease. Alright, hey guys, I just want to say again, thanks for watching Metal Chalice TV Episode 2, No Peace in the East. The next episode I'll probably focus on the Bay Area, thrash metal, of course. You have your Metallica, Slayer, and your Testament, Exodus, those bands, I'll be focusing on those. If you want to get fed with more thrash, any kind of thrash, crossover, death metal, I'm going to get into the crossover and death metal pretty soon, but if you want any of that, and some modern thrash too, go ahead and tap on the subscription bar. I just want to say thank you guys, and keep supporting your metal scene.